All right, so greetings to all of you. I'm Silky Arya, the founder and director of Advantage Trainings India, which is registered under MSME, Government of India. And this is a finishing school wherein we build confident personalities and cater to the personality and soft skills development needs of students as well as corporates. So, first of all, I would like to thank the International Internship University for providing me this particular opportunity to take up this topic today and share the skills and knowledge with the whole world. Thank you so much. And all the people who are connected directly or indirectly with the performance of this session, thank you so much. And today we are going to encounter a very important topic, which is how to win a group discussion as a placement process. So many students study in various colleges and their ultimate aim is to get the placement. Now, one of the major process that they undergo is the group discussion. And today we will be focusing on these particular areas and learn each and every aspect about group discussion. So we will be learning what is a group discussion, why it is required, or what is the importance of group discussion, purpose, what skills are being tested over here, what are the basic mantras, do's and don'ts of a GD. We will also see do's in the form of 10 simple rules. What are the special tips to succeed in a GD? What are the types of GDs and specific skill sets that are being asked over there? And then what are the keywords that make you sound like a pro and emerge as a winner? So let's get started. Now, initially, let us first understand that what do we mean by group discussion? Now, group discussion is a selection process in which approximately 8 to 10 members, they sit in a semicircular fashion and a topic is given to them to discuss frankly and come to a common consensus towards the end of the topic within 10 to 20 minutes. In case if it is a case study, it might take 30 minutes. Now, this is a general setup of a group discussion wherein the panel sits in front of you and you have the semicircular fashion. The chairs are arranged in a semicircular fashion and students or candidates who have to take the interview, they sit like this. Now, on the very first go, let us understand why this group discussion was required as a placement process. So I will explain this with the help of an example, a situation. So be attentive. Now imagine that in your campus, there is an IT firm that is coming for placements. All right. Now, this IT firms provides you with two positions. They have to hire only two candidates, against which 100 candidates apply. It is impossible for them to interview all the 100 candidates in one day. So for this purpose, what they do is they first of all conduct a written test. After the results are announced, let's say only 60 students are selected as per the cutoff. Still, it is impractical to interview all the 60 candidates. Now what they do is they go for this particular process of GD or group discussion, wherein they form 6 groups of 10 candidates. Now, from each group, they have to select only 1 or 2 candidates which are having high level of skill set. We will be watching these skills just in a few minutes. Now, each group is given 10 minutes to discuss. when all the groups are being judged, they are able to find, or they are able to get selected candidates, let's say on an average of 6 to 10 after this whole group discussion process. Now it is possible for them to interview 6 to 10 candidates in a day. Now let's understand the timestamps also. How much time is taken for each and every these three processes. So for the written test, movement of the students and the result announcement, it can take almost 1 hour each. So total 3 hours. So if the process starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, it will get over by 12 noon. If I give 10 minutes each for one group and 5 minutes for their to and fro motion, that counts 20 minutes to each group. Since there are 20 minutes for one group, it makes a total of, since there are 6 groups, it will make approximately 120 minutes, and that is 2 hours. So from 12 to 2, now we have group discussion time slot. And let's say now there is a lunch break from 2 to 3, right? From 2 to 3 p.m. Now, at the end of 2 p.m., we have already got these 6 to 10 candidates, which can be interviewed on the same day. Next step, at 3 p.m., they start interviewing those 10 students. For each student, they will take 10 minutes. So that counts up to approximately 100 minutes for 10 students. That's approximately, again, next 2 hours. So by the end of the day, around 5 p.m., they have received the cream of the campus, which contains high amount of skill set. So what was the requirement of this group discussion? The requirement was to eliminate all the students with low skill set and select only the cream. Now, group discussions are basically used as a personality test. What all is being tested in this, we will be covering it now. But just to understand this particular concept, group discussion helps to understand the personality of the student with the help of skills, right? And this can be done quickly. So it saves time because several skills are being tested simultaneously. Now, as I was discussing, what are the skills that are tested in a group discussion? The first and foremost is communication skills, which is again a big umbrella of so many sub skills. So your content, your communication, your way of speaking, voice tone, each and every aspect is covered in communication skills. Next is confidence. How much confident are you? It will be again shown through your communication skills. Presentation skills. How do you present your views yourself? What are the methodologies that you are using to present yourselves? That's also important. Body language. Body language is another very important aspect, which basically shows your confidence, your communication skills, and it is shown through your posture. So you should have an open body language and a positive body language. Over here, I would also like to emphasize that, your hand gestures are one of the greatest tools. So whenever you have to point out to somebody, never point out like this, but point out with your whole hand like this. So this is again a very important mark to be noted. Of course, you have to be formally dressed. You cannot go to an interview or any placement process in your casuals. Leadership skills are also being tested, and the major criteria to test leadership skills is whether the student takes an initiative while participating in the group discussion or not. So if you are taking initiatives, it means that you possess leadership skills. Since the time is limited, 10 to 20 minutes. You have to stick to the timeline. Time management is another criteria or skill that is being observed. Problem solving. Since they will give you a particular topic to discuss, they will expect you to resolve the issue, and hence your problem solving skills, analytical skills, how much flexible are you in your approach, how well you accept others' response, how well you are a team player, what kind of logic are you putting, how are you thinking, and how are you acting independently, how you are making decisions, are you proactive or not, are you following a discipline or not, what is your content, how do you communicate with other people, your interpersonal skills. All these skills are being tested in a GD. One more major aspect is spirit of participation. Now, there are many kinds of students, many variety of students who attend this particular group discussion. So you don't have to be the dumb one, but you have to have a spirit of participation, some energy, some enthusiasm that yes, I have to make a mark and I have to create a first good impression on the panel. Now, there are certain rules towards it, which we will be learning in our coming slides. Before that, let us cover the remaining skills, right? So next is memory and recalling skills. So sometimes a tough topic is given to you, and at that particular point of time, your memory and recalling skills are also tested. So how can you do that? By listening to others. So your listening skills and being proactive is also one of the aspect that takes into account, that is taken into account. So moving on to the basic mantras. Now, if you have to be a winner, if you have to win a GD, you have to ensure that the panel notices you and your group members, they hear you. Because we know that our first impression is the last impression. For that, the key is to be assertive. Assertive in the sense that you have to follow the assertive communication. For example, let me explain it in this manner. Now, being assertive means that consciously you have to make an effort to use only positive words. That is number one. Number two, you have to take care that you have to be polite while speaking. Number three, you have to take care that whenever you are speaking, you are neither too dominant or aggressive, neither you are weak. You have to be balanced. You have to follow the balanced approach. So you can take an example from my voice tone right now. It's neither dominant nor it's weak. It is balanced. Next aspect of being assertive is that you have to speak with full conviction. And you will be able to do that only if your facts are correct. So these are the four aspects of being assertive. Second mantra is, if you want to get noticed, your contribution to the group and the topic should be meaningful. Next is, it is very important for you to build a common consensus. That is, at the end of the group discussion, you all should be able to build a common consensus. You should be able to work as a team player and come to a common conclusion, which will help you to definitely emerge as a winner. Let's focus on the don'ts first of all. So let's understand this particular point. So you don't have to be shy, nervous, or keep yourself isolated from the GD, because the only option that you have is to be confident and expressive. You do not have to interrupt another participant before his arguments are over, because it seems rude and it seems dominating, which is not acceptable by the panel. Now, if you think that there is a dire need to interrupt, there is a method to do that. And we will be learning that towards the end of our session by using various keywords. Now, you have to be flexible in your approach, avoid being stubborn, avoid being sticking to one point. Have a flexible approach, have good listening skills, and try to accept the points of your other team members also. Then the next point is we should avoid making fun of other participants, even if their arguments are funny. Why? Because there is always a room for humor. You should have a good sense of humor, but at the same time, you should also take care not to hurt the sentiments of any of your co-participants or candidates, because this will not make fun of that particular participant, but it will show your image. So we should avoid doing that. Again, whatever points have been already discussed by other candidates, avoid repeating them or avoid repeating the irrelevant points. So you have to stick to the topic. Now we come to the major part of our group discussion, that is, what are the rules which can help us to emerge as a winner and conclude the GD effectively. So first point is keep an eye contact while speaking with your team members only. Avoid looking at the panel, because if you do that, you can be disqualified or your marks can be deducted. This is a very major point which is usually not known by many. So this is number one rule, that you should maintain an eye contact while speaking only with your team members. So the moment the panel announces the topic, you are supposed to turn your faces towards the team and you are supposed to maintain eye contact only while speaking with your team members. This shows that you are focused on your topic only and your concentration is not moving here and there. Second rule is that always try to initiate the GD, provided you are aware about the topic. If you think that you do not know the topic, then do not initiate it. Because in that process, instead of gaining marks, you will tend to lose the marks. Also remember, whenever you are initiating the GD, there is a proper format to do that. We will have a look at it towards the end of our slides. So whenever you are initiating the GD, follow that particular format and add 2 to 3 important or relevant points, and then leave the ground open for other students. And here we come to the next connecting point, which is allow others to speak. Let us understand the depth of this point, why it is important. I understand sometimes the topic is very interesting and you know each and every aspect about that topic. But this doesn't mean that you will go on and on and on. You have to give chance to others so that they can also share their viewpoints. Now, why is it so? If you do so, this will show that you are a good team leader. It will show that you do not dominate. You are not bossy. All right. Next aspect is speak clearly. Over here, there are two aspects to clarity. Number one, each and every word that you are speaking should be crystal clear. And second, whatever content you have to speak out should not be ambiguous. It should be absolutely clear. This will, of course, give you more points. Make sure to bring the discussion on track. So sometimes the topic becomes elaborative and the candidates often tend to lose the track and go out of it. So yes, there are marks for this particular point also. So the moment you realize that the discussion is going out of track, you can use certain keywords and bring the discussion on track. Also add your own viewpoint to it. We will again be having a look at this once again. So whatever rules we are discussing, these all rules, they carry points. So for example, if I talk about initiating the GD, the one who initiates the GD gets maximum amount of points under the heading of initiation. And then it keeps on reducing. But make sure that whatever you are whosoever is initiating the GD should be absolutely sure about the content part. The sixth rule is positive attitude. Now, your positive attitude will be reflected in the form of your words. So as we discussed in the previous slides about assertiveness, so over here, you have to understand that your assertiveness will be reflected in the form of using positive words. So your positive attitude will be reflected through your communication as well as your body language. So make sure to keep an open and positive body language, maintain an eye contact. Seventh rule is speak sensibly. You should avoid making a mistake of speaking irrelevant stuff and you should always use a fine or refined language. Next is listen carefully to others. Now, sometimes, as we discussed earlier also, there might be a situation wherein you might get a difficult topic. So over there, listen carefully to others first. You might recall some of the experience, or you might recall certain articles that you have read. You can always share the experience once another person has initiated the GD. So listening skills, they also carry marks. No need to go into much details. Yes, this is again one of the important rules. You have to stick to the point. You have to mention to the point information while stating it. Of course, formal dressing, we've already discussed on this. It is very, very important. That is why it has been repeated over here. Now, let's just quickly go through the tips for group discussion. Extremely vital, be yourself. Now, however you are, you have to speak naturally. It should look like you are in a conversation with other person. It should not look like you have crammed something or if you are copying somebody. You have to be yourself, because the more genuine you are, the more amount of marks you will gain. So whenever you are listening to others, you also get time to organize your thoughts. So at that point of time, think about what next point you can say, what productive points you can add. As I stated earlier, you may get disqualified or you may deduct your marks if you look at the panel, so avoid it. In a group discussion, whenever you are facing any doubts, you can seek clarifications with a process known as paraphrasing, wherein you can rephrase the question or rephrase the statement of other candidate, and you can ask them that, okay, so did you mean this, like that? You can seek the clarification. Again, body language. If you have to point out to somebody, you must use your hand, or you will maintain an eye contact with others and have a smiling face. Keep an open body language also. Sometimes when we will be discussing in the types of GD, there is a type where it is controversial or argumentative topic. Over there, there is a tendency to lose your calmness. So you have to be very, you have to be very stable in order to confront the conflict. So please take care not to lose your cool, and display your leadership skills by being a team player, by being a team leader. Take the team together. So instead of being a boss, show that you are a leader, which motivates the team. This person will motivate the team. They will create a vision for them and communicate nicely to them, and of course reach the goal, that is over here, to come to common consensus. This is the only option with you of being confident. Be a good listener. We have already discussed about this. And over here, I would like to pay stress on active listening. Now, be a good listener simply doesn't mean that you just have to hear from your ear. No, you have to listen actively. And by actively, what I mean is you have to simply listen to the person and do not do or make any judgments. You have to be non-judgmental while hearing or listening to other person. If you will be judgmental, then you will be skipping the portion what the speaker is telling to you in that while when you are judging that person. So first job is to listen to the person completely, and then when the whole conversation is over, when the speaker is done, after that you can ponder upon whatever has been discussed, and then if you are having any doubts, you can always come back to the speaker. Now this is another major topic, types of GDs. So do you remember the skills that we had discussed earlier? Besides those skills, there are again a few more specific skills which are being tested through these types of GDs. So if I have to explain it to you, there are 6 types of GDs. Factual, abstract, argumentative, or controversial, opinion-based, current topics, current topics or case-based, or it might be article-based. Let's take them one by one. Now, factual GD topics refer to those GD topics which have facts in them, or which have already occurred, or which are facts. Let's say if I give you the example of time and tide waits for none. Now this is a fact, we know that. So you have to speak on this particular topic, and what specific skill is being tested over here is about the content, your knowledge, your in-depth information about that particular topic. So always remember, you can become a winner in these kinds of topics if you present the correct facts and figures in your information. Next is abstract topics. Now, have you seen the abstract painting, which has no formal shape? So similarly, these topics are those topics which have no foundation, they have no initial content, they have no body, and they have no conclusion. Now, how to tackle these kind of topics and what is being tested over here? Over here, they see your creativity level, your out of the box thinking. Over here, they also assess your comprehension skills and communication skills, and how well do you adapt with other people's advices or other people's views. Nothing is correct or wrong over here. Everything is correct. Over here, the click is that you have to participate in this particular GD where your start should be strong. And of course, in the end, you have to summarize each and every pointer of all the ideas that have been discussed. Let me give you an example. So the examples of abstract topics can be the number 1, the number 9, number 0, the color white, red, rainbow, 26 alphabets. So let me explain you, let me give you an example of one of the abstract GD. So let me take the topic, the number 9. Now, there can be many ways of starting it. Of course, we will be starting it with greetings. So, greetings to all. The topic of discussion that has been given to us is the number 9. Now, after this, you have to add your viewpoints. You can say, you might start with number 9 is an odd number. This is one way of starting. Another way is number 9 is not a prime number. You can also say number 9 is the highest one-digit number. And there's one more method of starting it. Please listen to it carefully. So I'm again starting with the format. So greetings to all. The topic of discussion that has been given to us is the number 9. Now, in my opinion, number 9 is a magical number. Let us understand how. If I add any number to number 9, the sum that I get, if I further add the digits of this sum, that is 1 plus 0, that is 1, I will get the same number that I have added to number 9, that is the number 1. You can try it with other numbers as well. So this is how, if you will start, you have made a mark on your other teammates as well as the panel. So your start should be strong, and when you're finishing it, you have to take the viewpoints of all the other students and then come to a common consensus. Let's move on to the argumentative and controversial GD topics. Over here, they will check the maturity level of the candidates. How? When these candidates will be selected and they will become the employee of the organization, they will obviously go to certain team meetings, or they might have to encounter the union also. And whenever we are in a team, there is a chance of conflicts. So over here, conflict management is also being tested, wherein how a student will resolve the conflict, whether the student will get aggressive, or the student will fall weak, or the student will take, or the candidate or the employee will take a balanced approach of being assertive. So over here, the assertiveness is also being tested. For example, reservation is a very sensitive issue. Quota system, politics, these all are very sensitive issues. So how you tackle it and how you come to a common consensus, how you deal with your team, do you emerge as a team player or not? All these things are being tested over here. And of course, the winner is the person who maturely, without any conflicts, without any aggressiveness, handles this kind of a topic. Next is opinion-based topic. Over here, please remember, any opinion is correct. There is nothing wrong, nothing right. Every opinion is correct. And over here, the panelists are looking for your presentation skills, teamwork skills, leadership skills, as well as consistency. For example, if I take the topic nuclear family or joint family. So if one of the candidates starts in favor of this topic, okay, and when the GD is going on, it is progressing towards the middle, that same student comes in favor of joint family. And towards the end, this person comes to the balanced approach of both the families are okay in their own respects. Now, this kind of a student will never get selected. Why? Because the approach has not been consistent. So please take care that whatever type or whatever point you choose, whether nuclear family or joint family, you must stay consistent and then come to a common consensus. If you want, you can always go for balanced approach during the start, during the middle, and towards the end. Current affairs topics, of course, they aim to check your general awareness, your facts about it. So if you are very, very sure about the knowledge, the content part, only then speak out. And if you are not reading newspapers or the articles, please start doing that. If you are not getting the physical copies, there are the soft copies or the apps available free of cost, wherein you can always know about the current topics that are going on. So please start reading the newspapers, whether e-paper or the physical ones. It is really very important. Next is case-based studies. Usually these case study based GDs are given at the higher management or the postgraduate level. But these days in a few courses, yes, they do get a case study based topics wherein a situation or a scenario is given to the students and open-ended discussion takes place about the solutions. In some cases, some questions might be given towards the end wherein they have to discuss the answers. This is the only, I would say, type of GD in which 30 minutes at the max can be given. So now coming to the last part of our GD, wherein we can emerge as a winner if we use keywords. Now, what are keywords? Keywords are those sentences in which we use certain format in certain situations. So there are total 8 situations that are being discussed over here. That is how to initiate a GD, how to encourage or motivate others, because we have marks for all these situations. Then how to agree with others, how to disagree with others, how to completely disagree with others, then how to bring the discussion back on track, how to interrupt, and how to conclude. Let's have a look at each of these one by one. So as I told you, over here we will be discussing about the points also, the marks also, and the types of students also. So over here, the person who initiates the GD is always considered as a leader. For example, I'm sure as a student in your classes or in the school or colleges, your teachers might have asked you that who wants to become the class representative or who wants to become the monitor, right? So the person who raises his or her hand first is considered to be a leader. So always remember your non-verbal communication helps the panelist to choose the best among you because they understand the non-verbal communication. Now, coming to the GD part, how will you start your GD? This is the way. So, greetings. Now, you can use good morning or good afternoon as per the time of the day. So, greetings to all. So, I am so and so. The topic of group discussion that has been given to us is this. And in my opinion, then you have to add your viewpoints, just like I did during speaking or giving you the example of the number 9. Then second situation is how to encourage or motivate others. Now, whenever you use keywords, you are always supposed to add your viewpoints. Only this is an exception wherein you are not supposed to add your viewpoints because you are encouraging others, you are motivating others. So over here, these are the methods, these are the words that you can use to encourage or motivate others. For example, my worthy team member has not spoken till now. So I would request him or her to add his or her viewpoints. If you know the names of your team members, you can speak with their names. Let's say, Lena, would you like to contribute your ideas in the group? Next method is, would you like to add your views in our discussion? Then you can also go for this option. There are a few team members who are still waiting for their turn to speak. So let's give them an equal opportunity to speak their mind. Now, how to agree? Now, sometimes you have a pointer with you and the situation has really become like a fish market in a group discussion. Over there, these keywords will help you to get involved in the group discussion. How will you do that? So if somebody has spoken a point and if that person is elaborating and elaborating, what you can do is you can agree with that person. Yes, I completely agree with you, and immediately start with your point by saying, in my opinion, dash, dash, dash. Another method is, yes, I totally agree with your opinion. As per me, then you are supposed to add your viewpoints. Then I second your thought. According to me, then add your viewpoints. Now, sometimes when the other candidate speaks, you may or may not agree with that particular person. You partially disagree. Now, it is very wrong on your part if you will say a no on the face. So you're not supposed to say a no, that you are wrong. You're never supposed to say this in a GD, because again, assertiveness will be defied over here. So what you can do is, instead of saying a no directly, what you can do is, you might be correct, but in my opinion, this particular thing should be like this. Now, the moment you say like this, the person is receptive to your viewpoint and that person will listen to you. One more method is, you are partially correct and I would like to add something to it, and then you can add your viewpoint. Sometimes what happens is that you think that, it is completely wrong. Whatever the person is saying is completely wrong. Again, you cannot say a direct no. What you do is, you say, I have a different opinion, and then you can add your viewpoint. Or you can say strongly, I think differently. And then again, you're supposed to add your viewpoints. Then how to bring the discussion back on track. So over here, you will again, when you realize, so these are the pathfinders. These kind of people are known as pathfinders. So over here, what you can do is, once you've realized that the discussion is going out of track, you can say, well, I think we are getting out of track. So let's come back to our topic, and then take this advantage of adding your viewpoints and getting involved in the discussion. Another method to bring it back, I think we should focus on the topic itself and then add your viewpoints. Again, a very major pointer over here is, another situation is how to interrupt, as we discussed in our early slides. So if I may state my point as well, and then you can add your viewpoint. In order to conclude, what you can do is, so after all this discussion, we have come to a conclusion that dash, 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 and then towards the end, do say thank you. Because the moment you say thank you, it gives an impression to the panel and the other team members that now the GD is over. One more method is, so our group has decided to come at a common consensus that, and then add your viewpoints and say thank you. Now, what is the importance of using these keywords? What is the beauty of using these keywords is, once you use keywords, the panel comes to know that you've done your homework. You have been a trained candidate, you have been trained, and then only you have come to this group discussion, right? So I hope that I have cleared or clarified all the things regarding a group discussion. And towards the end, I would like to again say thank you and all the best for your group discussion, so that you all can emerge as a winner. So practice, practice, and practice, as this is the only thing that will make a person perfect. So thank you so much for your valuable time and patient listening. Thank you so much, International Internship University, again, for giving me this opportunity, and also Ermina to give me this particular opportunity. Thank you so much.